first thing we want to do is sort out our feelers, if you like, at the front. Now, what I do is take some white flexi floss and I just catch it in the vise here by the tip. And I'm going to do these a sort of a light brown amber colour. So just take a permanent marker in whichever colour you want, sand, you know, it's up to you really. Stretch it, just run your, these are a light brown, but I mean you can do grey, sand, whatever colour you want. So basically just run the marker up and down your strand of white. Flexi floss if you're not into dyeing materials yourself and all that, and leave it dry. Now obviously if you give it a second coat it'll get a bit darker. Now I'm rotating this a little bit, just trying to make sure that there's no white patches on it. Okay, so you let that dry. It's up to you then. If you give it another coat of the same colour, obviously it's going to be a little bit darker. I don't want it any darker for this. So then I'm taking a slightly darker permanent marker and I'm just putting the variegated, or basically the little brown stripes. So I'll go all along it like so, and just turn it a bit so you can get the idea. See your stripes there, and you just go along the full length of it really. So that's what you're left with. As I say, in whatever colour you want for your shrimp. If you want to use it out the front as feelers. So these are the Easy Shrimp Legs 2.0, and I'm going to add some spots to them with my marker. Now I think it's much easier to do it when it's inside in this cover, because once you remove these you're going to, well, you can still put the stripes on, but it's a bit quicker I find just to do them when they're in the packing, if you like this. So I'm kind of putting one at the tip, one halfways between the tip and the joint of the leg, and one just at the joint itself. That's just where I like to put the stripes, like so. And then I'll finish that one. Here's one I prepared earlier. I always wanted to say that. And how they work is you pull them out of this kind of a mold, if you like, that they come in. Just be careful not to don't rush it too much. And they come out like this, and there's your legs, and you can see I've added my little brown stripes to them already. So it's an ahrex light stinger size 6, and I'm going to start off with some fluorescent orange, or sorry, fluorescent red. You could use fluorescent orange, I'm sure, as well. Thread, and I just tying it in at this area here. So I'm not going to use the fluorescent in that part of the fly. So I'm building up a little small bit of a bump there, getting the thread started. And I'm going to take my flexi floss. This is a sort of a sandy tan brown flex that I just did with the marker myself, and just catching it in on my side first, and then just bringing it across and catching on the other side. This is basically the feelers, and one is a little bit longer than Not much in it though, so I'll leave them for now. A little bit longer, and you'll see on a prawn they often sweep back like this and so on. So this is a sort of a prawny shrimp. Now, to me, a sand shrimp and a prawn are fairly different in appearance, but this one I'm going to do more as a prawn. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of feelers to this. I'm going to use a bit of Nayat. This is some I got from big streamers now. I think it's technically called shell pink, but it's a nice sandy color. To remove some of the bits that I don't want. I don't want too much of this, you know. It's just a few strands, and I want it out the front here. Just get the taper the way I want it here. I'm just going to have that a bit longer out the front. So I'm going for about a bit longer than the length of this hook anyway. Let's drop that down. Now, I'm going to leave some of that to help with the taper of the fly, so leave it like that. Okay, and I'm going to add on top of that, if I can find it out here, sorry, I'm going to add a little bit of bronze mallard next. My bronze mallard feather. Use bronze mallard or duck feather really, if you wanted more grey. So I'm going to pull off, so maybe 8 strands. I'm going to kind of separate it into 4 each side, and I'm going to tie these in a bit more on the side of that, like so. So, like so. Again, just trim these off. And I'm going to add a little bit of barred grizzle marabou to that. So these are small feathers, so I only need one small one. Let's see if I can find an even smaller one in here. And these are dyed sand, but you can use any kind of a natural colour really. And just moisten it to get a look at it, and then again I'm going slightly shorter with this. Trim it off. Now you could potentially use that for another fly, I suppose. I haven't tried it. I usually use a new feather, but I could see how you could. Okay. So I'm going to make a little dubbing loop here. I'm just going to pop my spinner into that. Get rid of these twists out of it. So I'm just going to catch a pinch of SLF prism in sand. Spread it out a little bit along there. Just a spin. Somewhere around here. Tease it out a little bit at the start. Then if you want, you can use a hackle pliers to hold this. I generally just hold it with my fingers at this stage and just build up a bump here. This material. so. And then catch it in. And then I'm going to remove this, but don't put too much pressure on this. You know, make sure you're catching the thread above it with your fingers, or use hackle pliers if you prefer. Okay, so I'm kind of finished with the fluorescent thread at that stage. So I'm going to finish with that for now, and I'm going to catch in some white back here and run it up to there, and I'm just going to bring it back down, not really, just to keep it out of the way of my Velcro brush. So I'm going to brush out this, and you can see the fluorescent start to show through. The light's probably not great for it, but you get an idea. So I prefer to do that than use colour dubbing, but that's just personal preference. So next we need eyes. So you can either use your easy shrimp eyes that you see me use on other patterns, or some homemade eyes. These are some of Chris's homemade eyes. I'm going to catch these in and let them stick out the front here. And again, we use them to help build up a bit of taper to the body. I'll have to cut that heavy nylon with an older scissors. I'm catching the other one. I want to just again, almost did it again, just get rid of that, trap everything down, bring it all forward. A bit of dust on my camera lens there, unfortunately, but you get the idea, hopefully. Just fix everything up the way you want it. So, and then I'm going to add some legs. So I'm going to use the easy shrimp legs. Now I'm not tying them in full length. I want them out a bit more over the top. So I'm going to cut off this a little bit short. I'm going to kind of sit them up a little bit on top there. So really, mostly I'm trying to tilt it a little bit this way. Concerned with here, just take your time. It's just to get these legs to sit up on top of the hook here without going too much to any side. So that generally, once you get this end bit here tied in, it generally sits, so try and keep them on top as best you can. Make sure they're nice and secure. And separate out between them. Just tie down these forward facing ones a bit more. You could separate these forward ones a bit as well if you want. It's up to you, really. It's just a little bit tedious, but you'll get there. Okay. So I'm going to form another dubbing loop. You want most of your bulk towards the front here. And a bit less then as it tapers back down. So just form a small one there to start me off. Just something that I can control, I suppose, if you like. And another bit of, oh yes, the left prism. Drop it into the double loop there. And get another pinch. Just mind the legs. Spin that. Just take it out of the pliers this time, or out of the spinner. I have a small hackle pliers here handy, so I may as well use it. Just to show you something different. So, let's keep your legs out of the way. Build up a bit more. Front of these legs here. And then you just come back down over a little bit. Like so. Then I'm going to catch in that double loop. Just going to move my thread back to the next segment and trim off the waist there. Okay. So make another double loop. Just have a look, see how this is looking. It's looking good, as you can see. You can do this without the double loops, but it'll take a bit longer to build up a shape. So again, just use a heavier, coarser dubbing. You'll make the bulk a bit faster as well, but I just like the translucency at the prism, so that's why I'm using it. My legs out of the way. Bring that back. Then trap it down. Turn everything is the way you want it. Your legs are, everything look okay. And then I don't think I'll need any double loop here. What I'll do is I'll start back here. And I'll go forward. And then I'll come back down through it. Put a hitch in, keep everything safe and secure for a minute. And I'm going to brush this, brush it a bit forward and down to create your sort of underbody, and your helps with your shape, like so. Now I'm going to do, so that's what it looks like. What I'm going to do next now is I'm going to add some flex resin to the back. It's the Raid Zap one I got recently at Ardare Springs. And then I'm going to add a shrimp back to that. Now I'm not going to rib it with mono. You could if you wanted. I'm not going to. I'm just going to basically set it with the resin. Won't be going anywhere. You can see. It's up to you whether you want this tail on it or not. Let's take it off. So just remove that altogether, because I think they break off when you're fishing, and set the shrimp back, and we're finished off. So that's what it looks like. So I want the back just a little bit more darker. It's a personal thing. So just coloured it in with a marker. You leave that dry and then just give it another very thin coat of resin. So added a very thin coat, and what I've done is I've just exaggerated the stripes a little bit. Again, it's up to you whether you want to do that or not. I just did it with a black Sharpie or permanent marker, just so you can see, and let that dry in, and just again a really thin coat of a thin resin over the back of that.